Hey, what is up, everyone? It is Rich. All right, welcome to 10 Minutes with Sam Keith. I was going to do Jim Murray today and opted to go for Sam Keith. The reason being is that I think his work is more closely related to Jay Lee, and I felt like we had taken the Neil Adams concept through Bill Sienkiewicz, through Simon Bisley, to Jay Lee, and then I kind of wanted to keep that sort of kinetic energy going on. And I definitely think that as Jay was cutting his teeth on his gritty style, Sam Keith was a very important part of that. Jim Murray's work is a little more similar to Simon Bisley. A lot of it is painted work, and so it felt a little like I was skipping back too many steps. Where this is at least more relatable to Jay's stuff, and it's very, very cool, unique work, and just it just sounded exciting to look at. So I've got some scans off the original art. I also have some pages from Marvel Comics Presents. I have original art from Marvel Comics Presents, but also some pages from the comic book. But yeah, so let's get into this. One thing I was going to say, though, is thank you guys for your support on my channel. Amazingly enough, I had seen maybe a month or two ago, I was creeping up on 2 million views on my channel, which was pretty cool. And I was like, oh, I wonder if I actually cracked that. And I looked today, and not only have I cracked 2 million, I'm at 2,500,000 views now. So thank you guys very much. Somehow I got 600,000 views just in the last month or two. I don't even know. But that's pretty crazy. So I'm buying a mansion. No, I'm just kidding. It's like $6. Anyway, let's do this. Sam Keith, 10 minutes with Dream a Little Dream of Sam. All right. This is cool. We'll get into the pages immediately. Oh, wait. Sorry, not full screen. This. All right. So let's see what do we got. These are stats. Bacalo would use this type of technique. Chris Bacalo, who is actually another wild artist. But it's a storytelling technique. I actually like it in comic books. I think sometimes stats, even if maybe like one thing changes, like it could be them standing throwing darts, and you see one of them throw a dart. Maybe one of them moves in the scene, or a gun is put down, whatever it is, and it can be a really interesting thing. It could even be the darts. Oh, it is. Okay, so like on this, there's no darts, there's one dart, there's two. I like that type of technique, you know. This is cool. I pointed this out in other videos. The idea of having one image that is spread out through multiple panels. And in this, he actually does even use a storytelling kind of technique through it, which is we see Wolverine carrying a wolf in 3 of the panels, or 4 actually. He's in this one too. It's cool. It's unusual. It's very creative, and it's a nice tree too. Very nice. Look at this. This is a little later. This is probably more recent. I first saw Sam's work on the Max, like probably some of you, and then went back immediately, and kind of like the Jay Lee thing, where it was like something about this wild style. I think, you know, one of the first comic books that I ever saw as a teenager was I met a kid in high school, and he was into Kent Williams. So he showed me some of his Kent Williams comics. I thought it was really cool. So I think that kind of set the wheels in motion of me liking weirder type art. This is real nice. This is an original. It's interesting. The way the ink lays down is very like, just, it almost looks like a print. It's so tight. It's really, really wild. Look at this rendering on this arm. So, I mean, definitely Arthur Sidum. Sui Dam, it looks like. He's clearly influenced by Sam Keith, in my opinion. I know that he's got some Frazetta in his stuff too. Another interesting influence chain I thought would be to do Frazetta, because like Tom Greinberg and Mike Hoffman and Arthur Sidum and definitely Sam Keith. I think Silvestri. There's a lot of artists that were influenced by Frazetta. It might be kind of fun. But you please make your recommendations. I kind of wanted to do one that was outside of my comfort zone a little bit, and ones that I was thinking of is, because I'm not super familiar with their work, would be like if we started with some like John Romita Sr. or maybe Gil Kane or someone like that, because I don't really know their work that well. I mean, I know who they are. I could recognize their work, I think, in most situations, but I don't know maybe like the whole, like what their whole influence chain would be. So if you have any recommendations, let me know. I like, yeah, John Byrne's another one. I mean, very very famous pencil. I don't really know John Byrne's work very good at all. I mean, I know some of the books that he's done, but it was a little bit before my time. My first exposure to him would have been the next one. So this was an interesting piece. I thought that this was funny, and it hit kind of a multitude of the influence chain. So this is a jam piece by I believe Dale Keown, Jim Lee doing Death Blow, Keown doing Pit, Rob Liefeld doing Blood Wolf, and then Sam doing the Max. This would be a very, very collectible piece. This thing would sell for a fortune. In fact, I guess I grabbed it off of Heritage. I didn't really even look at the amount, but whatever it sold for, if it was a while ago, it would sell for a lot more now. But anyway, a lot of the influences are in these artists. I mean, Jim is definitely influenced by Neil Adams. I mean, there's definitely, I had said there was Bisley and Blood Wolf, Jay Lee. I mean, it all kind of ties in a funny way. So this piece was very... kind of a nice testament to what we're talking about. We truly do stand on the shoulders of our peers, you know, the giants before us. It's kind of cool. I used to fight it. I was like, no, I'm an individual, and no, don't affect me. I want to be autonomous. Is that what it is? You cannot be truly autonomous. That's really cool. I thought there was one that looks similar to this. It's got some feathers on it. So this is, gosh, this is from Sandman. This is one of Sam's first jobs. It's just such a wild piece. I grabbed it in small form. It had read a little bit like a Jay Lee piece. It doesn't really when you look at it close up. There's a lot of Vertigo artists that had crazy kind of looks like this. And Bacalo too did come through Vertigo and did some pretty wild stuff. Okay, so these are the comics. We got to hustle because we only have how long? 10 minutes. These are very saturated scans. The scans that you find of these comics online are pretty shitty. But there's one more original. Beautiful inks. Beautiful drawings. I actually have the gallery edition of Batman Secrets, like the graffiti artist edition style book of that. I believe I've done an Open That Book on it, which is slightly different than these videos. Open That Book is where I actually filmed the book with my cell phone. Poorly. No, I think that they're pretty cool videos, but the sound quality, because my phone doesn't have great audio, I never like them. Let me lighten this a little bit. Levels. That'll lower the saturation just the tiniest bit. That's a little better. All right, let's look and see what we got. The way that he does arm hair and moss and stuff like that is so freaking cool. It's so soft and kind of just very like, man, he really creates this nice texture with it. That's really, really cool. But yeah, definitely awesome. Sam is another guy that's very reclusive. It seems like a weird theme with a lot of the artists that we've done for these 10-minute things, but a lot of them don't really do many interviews. But again, I mean, I don't know Sam Keith at all. I met him briefly at a wedding one time, but I mean, he would never remember me at all, and I don't even think he would ever know my work. But I mean, I could try to reach out to him and see. I'd say it's highly unlikely, but if we get it to 200 likes, I'll give it a shot, and 100, we'll do a longer video on Sam. The interior of car shots are tricky to do, like, you know, putting basically your camera, quote unquote, meaning like the shot that you're going to draw, and being able to draw the dashboard and the steering wheel and the windshield and the person. If there's multiple people in the car, it's quite a challenge. I had to do it in Crystal Planet issue 2 and 3. I had to do a car chase. I was like, what? Oh, here's the page we looked at. Like, I'm not car chase. I draw hell and scary monsters and people with biomechanical doodads. Draw normal people in cars. Who do you think I am? Eduardo Rizzo? Oh, that's kind of cool. You know who's an interesting artist is John Crisfolucci, the Brendan Stimpy guy. He's pretty good. And Ralph Steadman could be someone fun to look at. It's got kind of wild stuff. We don't have to do wild. Like I said, I was actually kind of interested in doing something that was a little more up the middle, you know, whatever that means. Just not the scary weird stuff. Yeah, so Dan Fraga told me I pronounced it right. I always say Fraga because I'd said it for 20 years, and then I realized it was Fraga. But Dan Fraga pointed out to me that there's reprints of these Marvel Comics Presents that are beautifully done. I don't think that they're oversized. I just think at some point they did some reprints, and he said that the reproductions on these are much better than the originals, and he showed me an example of it, and it was quite impressive. So I looked on eBay. I couldn't remember the exact name. I'll reach out to him at some point and ask what it was again, because I did want to pick them up at some point. But they're just not as muddy. They're not muddy scans. These just printed a little dark. The newsprint sort of sucked up the ink. Sometimes it can look better newsprint, and sometimes it can get a little dirty. These are a little dirty. I have all the comics. They look like that. The copies that I have are like that too. Stuff is a lot of times what happens with printers and even the companies and stuff like that, they're not used to really printing stuff that's this dark, and so they've got a certain standard of how they do things for normal comic art, and when you don't draw like them, if you draw like thinner and lighter or darker, you can fall between the cracks where your stuff will print too light or too dark. So it's one of those things. Now, you know, you could format this stuff on your own, but even at Wildstorm, they would have other people scan the work that I would do for a long time. And I remember Alex Garner being very, very particular about the scans. I didn't understand it because I'd only been there for a couple of years, and most of the stuff that I was doing was, you know, it didn't really matter that much. But when I started working on better pencilers, all of a sudden I was like, wait a second, I'm putting a lot of work into this shit, and these scans look like crap. What's going on? And that's when I started scanning all my stuff myself at Wildstorm. I wouldn't let anyone near it. No offense to them. It was a real weird thing. This is kind of a sidebar on the Sam Keith video, but they would always assign it to like new people, or like they would get an intern and they'd be like, just scan art for 5 hours. And they had all these automated settings, and they weren't really looking at the art to see if it was being appropriately scanned, and it really made a big difference. You know, sometimes you have to massage a scan a little bit, darken it, lighten it, sharpen it up a little bit to make it look like the original. So, okay, we need to wrap this up because this is probably going past 10 minutes. My spider senses are tingling, and I think we're like 13 minutes, I think, about. This stuff is awesome. Sam Keith is awesome. He's done many, many books. He's done a lot of, well, I don't know if recently, but the last stuff that I saw was he was pretty consistently doing like kind of Batman stuff for DC, but this was years ago. Someone said, too, that Jay Lee has got an Image book coming out. I guess he did some work on Seven Sons, it was called. I don't believe that that was the title of the book that I was mentioning that I thought he was going to do something with it. Again, I kept saying it was something like Blue or Green Orb or whatever. I'm going to ask a friend of mine if he can remember what it was. But, or I mean, I could Google it, maybe like track it down. But I don't think it was Seven Sons, because Seven Sons is the thing that, what's his name, works on. Another artist that's really good. I think I just recently did a video on him. I can never remember his freaking name. It drives me crazy. I always want to say Jorge Molina, but it's not Jorge Molina. It's, God dang it. I don't know why I was spaced on this guy's name. He's really good, too. Kind of Lanil Yu, Travis, Mark Silvestri style. People were yelling at the screen. It's this guy. What is his freaking name? Now I want to know it. What a way to end a video, Rich. Now you have to show more art. What do you think of it? Oh my god, that's so good. Look at that. That all day. twice a day. All right, let's go fast. Come on. Everyone's here. Let's just watch this stuff. This is a nice little sequence. Oh yeah, this. I have a black and white of this. Hold on. We can't end it. I actually have the black and white of this. Hold on. Let's shut these color files and get to my remaining black and whites because I have some of these pieces. All right, so there's one of the pages that we just passed. Look at that. Okay, good. This is a good way to end the video. Oh my god, it's so good. I love the lettering. I mean, even if they're paste ups, it's still so nice, man. Look at this. Oh my god, that bottom panel is great. Oh yeah, here we go. Look at this. Oh my god. Such a kick-ass original. This stuff is wild with the feathers and the skulls and stuff like that. In a weird way. It's weird. It's got like a little bit of like a Mike Plug or Robert Crumb kind of vibe. A little bit of Jeff Jones, a little Frazetta. I mean, there's all kinds of neat like whatever comparisons you can make. It's not to say they're even accurate. And even a little bit of like the old EC comic stuff. Yeah, that's so kick-ass. This is a long 10 minutes. Just go with it. You're in the Matrix. Time has no meaning. This is a celebration of 2.5 million views, whatever that means. It's such there's such abstract statistics. Unless you're PewDiePie, it doesn't matter. The Rad Brad. Anyone follow Rad Brad? I've been watching his channel for so long. It's crazy how many subscribers he has. Guy does video game walkthroughs. It's very likable. He never knows how to start a video. Only people that watch this channel will get that joke. But he's always like, I don't know how to start this video. It's like, yes, you do. You've done millions of videos, made millions of dollars. You got this, Brad. The Rad Brad. Oh, look at that. That is the shit right there. That's so good. Another one is John J. Muth and Kent Williams did what was it, Wolverine Havoc painted book that kind of had this vibe. Man, it's so cool looking. Hey, the way he draws arm hair, or whatever you call this, body hair, goes beyond the arms. It's so neat looking. Makes me want to throw a hairy guy in my comics just to be able to do that. This is neat too. Okay. All right, and that was it. Okay, you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you later. And let me know who that artist is I'm thinking of. I know someone will know who I'm talking about. He did a book for Image called Seventh. He worked on The Punisher. He's done was it Uncanny X-Force? Or Uncanny X Factor. It's not. God, what is his freaking name? It drives me crazy. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Have an awesome one. And recommendations. Thanks. Bye.